Health does not mean clinically all right. No. Sometimes you are clinically all right. You don't have a disease, but you don't feel healthy. Health means a positive well-being. When you wake up early morning, your steps from your bed to bathroom should be more like a dance, not just steps. Then you are healthy. That's the definition of health. When you are alone, especially in the early morning, if you radiate that so much of health, so much of well-being, then you are healthy. See, many times we have a big smile when we are with people and we show we are healthy. But if you feel healthy when you are inside your room, when you don't have anybody around you, then you are healthy. Where you don't need to show you are healthy. Yes.
Before you were going to speak about the chakras, and then you started talking about Babaji.
Oh yes, sorry, because again the chakra is also a big subject. I spent 9 years in doing research on the energy centers with the various techniques. From various traditions and masters, and dive deep into how the emotions are connected to the chakras. For example, worrying is directly connected to navel center. If you are loaded with suffering or worrying, first thing you will experience is stomach upset or feeling like vomiting, because your navel is directly connected to worrying. How the emotions are connected directly to the chakras, and how we can work through meditation techniques to expand. I have designed many programs also based on this chakra science. Maybe this meditation which we will do will help a lot. Let's work on it instead of talking about it.
Swamiji, can you talk about what chakra is related to addiction?
Swadhisthana, Hara center, below the navel. That chakra is below the navel, above the Muladhara, root center. That is related to addiction. That is where you store the engrams, samskaras. So that is related to addiction. Hara center.
I'm wondering when you began your yoga practice, were you a small child? Like
Yes. At the age of 3 I started the yoga practice.
So you did postures, and I'm wondering at what age and how you feel it affected your spiritual development.
At the age of 3 I started. It has really helped me a lot because of the yoga practice only. I never have to think about my body. I was able to do anything I want in my spiritual practice without bothering about the body. And it has really helped me a lot to keep myself away from the body consciousness. Till the age of 13 I was practicing. After 13 I stopped practicing. 13, 1, 3.
That's when you ended?
Yes, I ended.
And you began at 3?
Yes, from 3 to 1, 3.
In what form were you practicing? Was it Hatha or?
Yes, Hatha Yoga and Patanjali Yoga. The person who taught me is a master. He used to levitate and he used to materialize. He's a master in this science. He's a great yogi. I have never seen him eating or drinking. I lived 10 years around him. I have never seen him eating or drinking. I don't know how you will be able to believe, but let me be honest, truth. Sometime I will tell him, please eat little bit Baba. Baba means father. That is the way we address. Just for my satisfaction, he will try to put little bit and he will turn the mouth and vomit that also, throw that also away. And I have never seen him eating or drinking. Just He says only animals should eat and drink. Why should we?
What do you recommend for children now when they start yoga? Because the meditation is hard. for little ones.
Little bit of yoga and little meditation. Meditation should not be separated from yoga. At least little meditation is necessary, because the purpose of yoga itself to achieve meditation. It's not just health. It's a ultimate health. It's curing the samsara roga, means the disease of birth and death.
Could you talk a bit about Patanjali?
Patanjali. Patanjali is a father of yoga system. I can say, is like an inner scientist. See, till Patanjali, enlightenment was like an accident. It's like you have to try so many things, something may click, that's all. But only Patanjali created a enlightenment as a clear science. Like a step by step, do this, 1, 2, 3. You will see this and you will achieve this, you will become enlightened. He made this like a clear science. Patanjali is like a spiritual navigator. How a navigator gives you a clear idea, Patanjali is just like a spiritual navigator. He is the first and last person who made spirituality as a science, a very logical, clear cut. You can sue him actually. Only he is enabled, he is powerful, only he is capable, he is courageous to give guarantee. He says, do it or sue me. Only Patanjali can give that guarantee. So clear and so sharp. Nobody else can be so sure of the effects and side effects and all the possibilities of enlightenment. Their conscience grows, not conscious. Conscience is different. Consciousness is different. They may be obeying your orders by your training, but they don't grow consciously. For conscious growth, only human being, human body, in human body only conscious growth is possible. It's only by a human being it's possible.
Do we affect animals?
Of course,
in a way?
we harass and disturb enough by keeping them as pets in the name of pet. Because we can't love human beings and we feel lonely, we keep them and do whatever way we want to do for them. Just imagine, if higher level beings catch us as pets and do whatever we do to our pets, will we agree? Then? But we are doing. If they also tie a rope and give us food at right time and give us a small bathroom and do they will do whatever we do to our pets.
And no freedom to go.
Swami, you talk about vegetarian diet, and sometimes when people get vata, too much vata, they say eat meat, it's good, make you strong.
I do not want to associate this vegetarian food and the morality or the spiritual ideologies. I feel based on my experiment, vegetarian food helps for spiritual growth, to be more sensitive, to be more energetic. That's all is my experience. But otherwise I don't want to associate the vegetarianism with the morality or ideologies. It's like people suffer too much with the guilt. See, try to have vegetarian food if you feel connected to the idea. Otherwise, forget about what you are eating, just enjoy. Don't carry too much guilt. Because people who eat non-veg without guilt, they eat and forget. People who eat with guilt, they eat only 15 minutes a day and remember that they have eaten non-veg whole day and suffer. Better to avoid guilt and suffering.
In meditation, sometimes
Means that it's automatically taking the asana, yoga posture, in which you are supposed to feel the high consciousness. See, all the asanas are created by enlightened beings, allowing their body to take the natural shape in that high consciousness. If you, for example, there is an asana called Machasana. There is a person called Machamuni. He became enlightened. When he became enlightened, his body took that shape automatically. Siddhasana means same way. When some Siddha became enlightened, his body took that shape same automatically. So means your body intelligence is now awakened and it is guided by itself. Allow it. Sorry?
Can a person ever be too sensitive or care too much?
There is nothing like too much sensitivity or caring too much. How much you care, it's going to be very less only. So the idea that I am too sensitive or too caring, all those things are just, you create your own idea with comparisons. So it's nothing like the too sensitive. Whatever you think is too much is only too less.
Because in my life, I've been very fortunate to spend some time in large groups of people who meditated, and it was the most blissful, most satisfying time.
Group meditations are always powerful and very energetic. Even if you don't have the mood, you will be taken to that space.
Well, my question is, I was wondering if in the future we're going to see more of that for the world, because I understand it has a very purifying effect on the world. I was wondering if we're going to see more group meditations. Or
Group meditations are going to create more effect, and planet Earth is going to have more group meditation groups everywhere. Let me tell you one simple thing. In one part of my native place, in that state, recently we had a group meditation and a fire ritual, means offering in the fire, homa, yajna. We had 2 days program. It was a 2 days program, and there was a fever called chikungunya. You all heard about that? Not bird flu. This is worse than that. All over that state in which I am born and brought up, it's called Tamil Nadu state. In that state, it has started spreading very wildly. So all our devotees are staying in that state. All of them came and requested me, Swamiji, can we do something about it? I said we will do. We had a 2 days meditation program. Around 10,000 people participated. I said by the end of the program, within the third day, means 2 days program, the third day, before the third day, the patients getting admitted in the hospital will be reduced to 10%. I said in the public before starting the program, and people were laughing. How can that be, Swamiji? In 2 days, how will it drop to 10%? From 100% to 10%. I said you will see the power of this positive energy, and it dropped to 8%, and never raised again. Never raised again. Now over 7 months over, never raised, just disappeared, and it was spreading wildly, and just dropped to 8%. If there is every day 1,000 patients are entering into the hospital for the treatment, it just became 80. Just 8%. It dropped in 2 days. Understand the power. And there is no other reason why suddenly it should drop. But in other parts of the country it is not dropped. It didn't drop. Only in that area. I said this area will be filled. And simply it dropped. Then the other parts, they came and invited. The other state, near state, it's called Pondicherry. There also our brahmacharis, our swamis went and did. Sudden drop, same way. Same way, the drastic drop in the chikungunya patients. How will you explain?
Once a physical state has been reached, a brain injury or a stroke, something that's caused a physical effect on the body, can person reverse it if they are anchored in that consciousness? Can they physically, can they reverse the physical effects?
The physical facts can be, it is possible to reverse if he knows how to release that anger and violence away. Catharsis is the best way. The meditation techniques which helps you to release, you see, the anger or violence is inside because of our unfulfilled engrams which we bring from the animal bodies. When we were in the animal bodies, we may be carrying some engrams which we have not completed it. So again becoming that animal and releasing those engrams, it's a powerful technique used in the Vedic tradition. They will calculate your horoscope. They will see your horoscope, means the, what's the word you use here? Astrology. They will see the horoscope, and based on that they will tell you which animal samskara you are carrying too much. So you are supposed to visualize that animal, that you have become that animal for a few hours and release your violence and anger and everything just like that animal. Suddenly you will see so much of purity and peace has happened to you and so much of negativity has left you. Now, before initiating people into the meditation or brahmacharya, the sannyas, we make them do this meditation to release the engrams or the samskaras which they carry unconsciously. Maybe that will be the best thing to reverse the this kind of deeper effects on the body.
Where I'm not understanding is like, why are we going in a worse direction and not in a better direction? Why are we destroying the planet?
I don't think we are really going worse. If you see the population growth and the percentage of people who are taking spiritual ideologies, see one thing, wisdom and everything is okay, but how many people you think are inspired or practicing these great truths? See the number of people who are practicing proportionate to the population we have. So we can't blame that we have not achieved at all. It is supposed, you see, wisdom was there in the eastern side, it's all true, but it's not that all Indians are meditating. All Indians are sitting all the time towards enlightenment. No. It's a wrong concept. No. There are also only a small percentage is meditating. So how many have accepted those great truths? How many are following? So if you see in that way, wisdom has really contributed to planet Earth in a big way. Yes.
What do you think is the link between the economics and the desire for spirituality? I'm wondering if that's
See,
because
economics is beautiful. Economics is beautiful. Economics means what? Having infrastructure for your body. Having infrastructure like a house or medical care or whatever is needed for your body is beautiful. See, economics adds years to your life. Spirituality adds life to your years. So, it is good to have infrastructure. I don't say that don't have infrastructure. Beautiful. But along with the infrastructure, have a beautiful software also inside. See, it's a fight between the infrastructure and the software. So I think it is time we can have both.
Yes.
When you are in this country, you have the best infrastructure. And now the best software is available. And another one thing, available for free. Just start using the new software. You will be the complete human being. And one more thing, one more beautiful thing. In the East, we always believe knowledge is free. Software is available. Just upload and use.